What's up, everybody? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview. If you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, if you haven't done so already, pound that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you won't miss out on another video. Also, like the video, it helps the channel grow, and give me your score prediction in the comment section below, even if you agree or disagree with it. Folks, this is the 5th year of me doing this channel, and for those of you who have been rocking with me since day one, thank you for sticking around for the journey. And for those of you who just found the channel, welcome. And I hope you stay around for the long haul. Last week, I had some audio issues, so I wasn't able to get out Ohio State and Notre Dame, as well as Georgia and Oregon. But I'm not going to miss out on this week. We got Alabama going to Austin, Texas to face the Longhorns. I'm excited because for once, it's a campus game. And we're not going to Dallas or Fort Worth or anything like that, man. Full on campus game. Crowd's going to be excited. Electric atmosphere. College game day is going to be around. And it is also a noon kick on Fox. So this is going to be huge, man. Big time game. I know Texas is not ranked at this point, but just the name Alabama and Texas, everybody's going to be tuning in. Since it's a noon kick game, that means since I live out here in the desert, I'm going to be eating breakfast while watching it. So I'll have my bacon and eggs and my coffee ready to go for this one. So I'm excited. I'm sure everybody's excited. Alabama fans, Texas fans. Texas fans been chomping at the bit for this one for the last few months. So let's begin, as we always do, by reviewing the tail of the tape of advanced metrics. So the tail of the tape is another way of just discussing the overall quality between the two teams. Bill Connolly has his SP plus rating, and then you have overall F plus, which is the blending of Brian Freemo's FEI rating and Bill Connolly's SP plus rating. Now, you'll find out more about Brian Freemo's FEI rating on footballoutsiders.com, which he does amazing work, by the way. It's probably one of the best football minds when it comes to advanced analytics. Now, also, Alabama has a pretty big advantage over the Longhorn defense, as they're ranked second in offensive SP plus over the Longhorn D, which is ranked 51st. Now, when Texas has the ball on offense, there's supposedly a push there, as the Longhorns is ranked 8th and the Crimson Tide defense is ranked 4th. Bill Connolly has Alabama winning this game by a total of 16 points with an 82% win probability, and the Vegas line has ballooned to a 20-point spread, which is absolutely crazy. But the Vegas odds makers, they tend to know something that, quite frankly, we're not privy to. Typically in these group of 5 season openers that Alabama would have, they would allow the other team to kind of hang around a little bit, get some confidence. I mean, hell, maybe even score a field goal, on their first drive, just because, everything likes to go well on that first script against Alabama. Hit a couple of shot plays and, get some confidence and, go from there. That did not particularly happen this past Saturday. Alabama just came out of the gate and they were full throttle from start to finish. Utah State had one successful play in that first quarter. I think it was like a 20-yard shot play over tight coverage. I mean, it was a hell of a throw, hell of a catch. And that was essentially it for the rest of the game, probably until the fourth quarter, until Alabama decided to, rest everybody on defense, so to speak. But I mean, if you were to take a look at this box score, 18%, 12%, 11%, I mean, Alabama had a success rate delta around 45% going into the fourth quarter, which is absolutely crazy. Those games usually end up like a 30-point win, 31-point win, 30-point win. And you're just like, well, Alabama wasn't particularly threatened in this game. And, they just did enough. And doing enough for Alabama is winning by 30 against a team that's overmatched. Alabama didn't really give any quarter against Utah State. And Utah State was a team that finished 24th in the AP last year and won 11 games with a lot of guys coming back. So, yeah, Utah State's not necessarily one of those G5 schools like Houston. They weren't expected to make a run to the college football playoff. Nobody's saying that they are, but I mean, if you win 11 games as G5, you're supposed to be pretty decent. So, shoot, got to tip your hat to how Alabama came in. They were focused, and they just utterly dominated a Utah State team that won 11 last year. So, yeah, you got to tip your hat. Not much else you can kind of glean from it other than the fact that they weren't playing around. So, yeah, it was definitely an ugly one. One of the biggest takeaways from Texas throttling ULM this past Saturday was the fact that Quinn Ewers is a cool customer. And the fact that he did not go into a shell after he threw an interception on, mind you, his second collegiate pass ever, it showed me a lot. It showed me that not much is going to get to him. And if you're a freshman quarterback or a quarterback in the Big 12, you're just going to have to just get over those mistakes. I mean, he has a cornerback mentality when it comes to playing that position, that quarterback. So got to give him a lot of credit for that. I think his best throw was to Ja'Tavion Sanders, where he just ripped one right up the seam between defenders, and it was a heck of a dime. It was a beautiful throw. Now, at the end of the day, I think Texas is going to go as Bijan Robinson takes them. I mean, he is clearly their best guy on offense. Xavier Worthy is not far away from him, but without Bijan, I don't see Texas, having a lot of offensive success. At the end of the day, they are a top 10 offense, in offensive SP, according to Bill Connolly's numbers. Bijan Robinson is a huge part of that. So as long as he is going, that offense is going to hum with him. As far as Ewers goes, I mean, he had a 60% passing success rate against ULM. ULM is not really a good passing defensive team, but I would have been really concerned if he didn't have success against a team like ULM. So that is one thing for me to look at. If they were struggling against ULM throwing the football, yeah, I would definitely have some serious concerns about Texas and, their ability to be able to move the ball on anybody. But they did what they were supposed to do against a team that was overmatched. So you got to give them some credit there. They did not play around with their food here. My computer model really surprised the hell out of me when I ran the numbers. So it is usually in line with the Vegas spread for the most part. This was a bit of a shock. Now I am going to say this in full context. Last week, my model projected Notre Dame to cover against Ohio State, and it also predicted Florida to beat Utah outright and Florida State to beat LSU outright as well. But both of those games were by the slimmest of margins. So the fact that it has projected Alabama to win by around 10 points in a Vegas line that is around 20, which is a little bit frightening for me. I had to run the model a few times just to make sure that, these numbers were indeed correct. And apparently the model was like, nope, this is what it is. So my model has Alabama beating Texas with a 74% win probability. You can kind of go ahead and round it up to 75% win probability. Texas has a 25% win probability. So, Texas fans, the model is giving you guys more than a chance. Maybe because you guys are playing at home, or, due to the fact that, hey, crazier things has happened. So it is college football. So Yeah, that was a little surprised at that, man, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not betting this game, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't touch it with a 29.5 foot pole, just for my sake and my wallet's sake. So we got a noon kick game. The home team is a heavy underdog. Can Texas pull this off? Well, here's the how for Texas. One, defensively, they're going to have to hold Alabama to literally a donut when they get inside the red zone. So they're going to have to force turnovers, whether or not it's a fumble, interception, or turnover on downs, or a missed field goal. They're really going to have to play sound whenever Alabama is threatening. If you keep Alabama out of the end zone, especially on no scoring opportunities, you have more than a shot. The second thing that you also need, you need Quinn Ewers to have a certain quarterback from College Station last year, that type of game. Now, based on just out of pure respect for Texas fans who are listening, who on to this point, not going to mention that quarterback's name, not even going to mention the name of the school. Okay, but I think you know who that player was. Alabama fans know who that player was. So they're going to need that type of game in order for them to beat Alabama. They're going to need Ewers to start off 8 for 8, 10 for 10, averaging 8, 9 yards per pass attempt. Xavier Worthy is going to have to get open, make some catches, make some big plays through the air. Bijan Robinson is going to have to be a problem out of the backfield because there are times, and Alabama fans know this as much as anyone else, wheel routes out of the backfield have just been a problem. It seems like they just cannot find a way to contain it. And Bijan Robinson, if he gets out in the open field, man, it's not going to be pretty. So you need that to go in your favor. And if you can get that, and we're talking it's 17-10 going at halftime, if you're Texas, you gotta feel pretty good about yourself at that point. And then you gotta make those adjustments in the second half. So can they? Sure. But at the end of the day, they're going to need a lot of that. And I don't particularly see that happening for them. One of the things that I caught against ULM, and when you looked at that box score that I made, on passing down situations, Texas had an 18% success rate against ULM. That's not conducive to beating Alabama. If you have an 18% passing success rate against Alabama, you're going to end up having the spread covered on you. Because if it's a 3rd and long, Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Henry To'oTo'o, and those boys, they are going to be foaming at the mouth on those obvious passing down situations. And you can't hold on to the ball that long. If you're trying to take shot plays against this Alabama pass rush, you have another thing coming because you might as well just throw all of those plays out of the playbook because I don't think it's going to go good. If you're trying to block Will Anderson or Dallas Turner one-on-one and you don't even bother chipping them, you're asking your quarterback to get killed. You're just asking for it. At the end of the day, I think Alabama defensively, I think they're going to send a message. Bryce Young in that offense, I think is going to be a little too much, for the Longhorn defense. I don't think Texas defensively is there. right now. I think later on down the line, if they're a middle of the pack, middle of the road defense, not even asking them to be top 25 or top 10, but if they're just a top 30 defense, they can be a problem, when you kind of pair it with the offense that they have. I just think Alabama, what they have coming back, the running back depth that they have, the emergence that they have at wide receiver, the offensive line is still a work in progress there, but I think they'll retool and I think they'll figure it out. And when they figure it out, they're just going to be frightening for everybody. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be too much. I got Alabama. I got them winning by the score of 38-17. So yeah, covering, but this is going to be one of those workman-like type games. I don't think they're going to run the score up on, Sark or anybody like that. So, I think Nick Saban has a lot of respect for him. So, he's not going to try. I think he's not going to try to run it up on them. I think at the end, once they do get out ahead and they get comfortable, in typical Alabama fashion, like they do in these games, they kind of sit on the ball, run the clock out, get in, get out without any type of significant injury. So, yeah, that's how I see this one playing out. And at the end of it, and that's a wrap for this one. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction and tell me why your team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the video a like. And if you love college football as much as I do, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell if you want to stay updated with the latest previews. Thank you again for watching the channel. Have a good day.